Grew up homeschooled, which basically just means that even though my mom was facilitating, and of course there would be consequences if I got too far behind, I was mostly setting my own academic goals from a pretty young age. My mom was there to help if I needed help, but she really, really wanted me to take ownership of my own learning. And she believed that if I wanted to learn something, that I would do better work. And I think that was actually one of the best gifts she could have ever given me. Because when I got to college, which I did my undergrad at Asbury, for a lot of people it was really different. And they were like, oh gosh, what do I do without the teacher standing over me every single day? They just handed us a syllabus. What do we do with this? And I was a little bit surprised because that's how I had always been taught from a pretty young age. And so it just wasn't as different for me as I think it was for other people. So a lot of these goals are things that are continuations of traits that I learned in my past. And especially with having been an undergrad at Asbury, a lot of the policies and stuff like that are really familiar to me, and the expectations of the communications department are pretty familiar to me because it was home for 3 years. So goal number 1, because our first section was integrating into the grad program. So my first and foremost goal, which is why I came back for my grad degree, is just learning from our faculty. We have amazing faculty. They're all so wonderful and so gifted in their field, and I'm so excited to learn from all of them. The second goal that I have is to get more integrated, or I guess to find my place in the grad community, because the grad community is a little bit different than undergrad. Everybody in undergrad is in the same stage of life, and in grad degree, we kind of span the gamut. We're in different geographical locations. I think I might be the youngest one in this class. I'm 21 and fresh out of undergrad. I'm not married. I don't have kids. So it feels like a very different place in life than most of the people that are considered my peers now. The third goal that I had in the way of engaging in grad thought and research was to just continue to be inquisitive and to use the resources to excel and expand in my field. Research is something that has always come really simply to me. I did my first research project when I was in like 8th grade, and I begged my mom to buy me every single book by Louisa May Alcott, Jane Austen, and Ellen Montgomery, because I was doing a project, as I called it, on the different writing styles of the 3 greatest female writers that I could possibly think of in 8th grade. So I've always really just loved learning new things, so I think just a continuation of that. So when it comes to writing at the grad level, this goal is particularly attached to my emphasis, which is screenwriting. And I tend to be a little bit more poetic in my writing style, and not that that's a bad thing, but I would like to learn how to be better at including more imagery and less wording, so that there's not a whole paragraph of dialogue of one person just talking, that it's able to be a volley back and forth, but still get that same poetic I guess attachment as it would have gotten if I was just writing a whole paragraph. As far as online learning goes, I did some of this in undergrad and some in high school. I was an academy student, so really the main things are just don't procrastinate, always be ahead, and be excellent. It's easy to check out in online classes, and you don't want to do that because you want to get the most out of them. So with time management, something that I would like to get better at is taking time for myself. So I tend to work, and then at the end I go, oh gosh, I haven't slept or like done anything for me, and that's not really healthy for my mental health. So I would like to get better at making time for me, but also still being excellent at what I'm doing with school and work. As far as the policies go, the only thing that I would love to know more about is just the thesis / capstone project. An overarching goal is to continue to learn to be excellent in my field and to grow as a holistic person.